Okay, so welcome to new lecture of digital signal processing. In today's lecture, we will be talking about FFT or fast Fourier transform. Fast Fourier transform. Okay, so as we said in previous classes that FFT is not a separate transform. It is a bit unfortunate that its name is fast Fourier transform. It's not a separate transform. Rather, it is an efficient algorithm to compute DFT, right? It is efficient algorithm to compute discrete Fourier transform. It's not a separate transform like we have DTFT and DFT. These two transforms are separate transform. But FFT is not itself a separate transform. It is an efficient algorithm to compute DFT, right? So if you recall that DFT of a signal is represented by n from 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn to the power nk, and this wn w capital N is equal to e to the power minus j 2 pi by capital N, right? If we substitute this wn into this equation, then we get x of k is equal to n from 0 to n minus 1 x of n uh, e to the power minus j 2 pi by n times nk, right? So this is we call it as a phasor, or it is also called as Tweedle factor, right? So initially DFT was not used before advent of FFT. Once FFT was published by Cooley and Tuckey, then this transform was also included in signal processing or any other application. The FFT concept was first coined by Gauss. He used to compute certain numerical problems, but he did not name it as fast Fourier transform. Rather, he just used it, but the formal introduction was done by the formal introduction of this FFT was done by Cooley and Toki, if I'm not mistaken in spelling. Okay, so the idea is what we do in fast Fourier transform is we divide the signal into its even and odd part. What does this mean? For example, we have initially discrete Fourier transform was x of k is equal to n from 0 to n minus 1 x of n w to the power nk, right? So what we are doing in FFT is we are dividing this into its even and its odd components, right? Okay, so this is the basic idea behind FFT. So why we use FFT instead of DFT? Because if you remember, when we computed 4 points DFT, x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. So we had a matrix which was of length 4 by 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. or I call it omega 4 power 0, omega 4 power 1. Sorry, it's initially all zeros, because either n is 0 in first row or k is 0 in first column, and we have delta 4 1, delta 4 2, delta 4 3, delta 4 2, delta 4 4, delta 4 6, delta 4 3, delta 4 6, delta 4 9, and then we have the input signal or time domain discrete time signal x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, and x of 3. Okay, so for each, you can see for x of 0 we have to perform this 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for each row we have to perform 4 multiplication, and how many number of rows are there? 4. So it's 4 times 4, it's 4 square. For imagine if it was of length x of n, x of n minus 1, 0 to nth length, x of n minus 1. So we had to perform n into n multiplication, that is n squared. And how many additions? N into n minus 1. N squared multiplications and n into n minus 1 addition. So overall complexity of this model is n squared. So DFT is very computationally expensive as compared to FFT. The complexity of FFT is n log 2n, and DFT is n squared. Now assume that if n is equal to 4, then we in DFT we have to perform 16 at least multiplications. What about in FFT? We have to perform log 2 power 4, that is equal to 4. Uh, 8. What if n is equals to 10? So we have to perform 10 into 10, means 1000 multiplications. And here let's okay, say 16 times 16 for our convenience. Log 2 power 16, so we have 16 times 4. So you can see 16 times 16 is approximately 256, and 16 times 4 is 64. So I don't know, you can confirm it, or we can confirm it now. CALC, we have 16 times 16, and that's equal to 256. See, and let's clear this. In times 4 is 64, right? So there are significant number of more multiplications in DFT. So imagine if this number goes to 44.1k, when n is 44.1k, there will be a huge difference between the computations involved in DFT and FFT. So that's why we use FFT for FFT instead of DFT in all applications. We don't practically use DFT, but after FFT, now when FFT was introduced, now DFT is also implemented in shape of FFT. DFT itself has never been used in communication systems, right? So what are its application? It is used in image compression. It's also used in finding ODs and PDs for solving ordinary differential equations and partial differential equations, right? It is also used in filtering, okay. So there are many applications for FFT. This is just a tip of the iceberg. In order to give you a feel that what we will be learning today, let's see. We'll be also in today's lecture. We'll see how to denoise a noisy signal, right? So using FFT, right? So it's not just we study it in digital signal processing, it is of no use. You can see we have a noisy signal and we have processed it through FFT and we get the original signal back. So it has some serious applications in communication system. Another application can be image compression, right? So I'll let you go through each and every term in detail, but just to give you a feel that this FFT is of very good use in communication system. Okay, you can see this is these are compressed images by FFT. We'll see how this is being done, right? Okay, another maybe how to find the derivative using FFT and traditional methods, approximation traditional methods, and you will see that FFT is far more better, has far more better results than traditional methods, approximation methods, right? So we'll go through each of these applications in detail, but before that you must know how it actually works. Okay, so before, so the equation for DFT is n from 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn power nk. Before going to FFT, let us see some important transformation of wn power nk that would definitely help us in solving FFT. So the first thing is that wn to the power n by 2 is always equal to minus 1, right? How? We know that wn is equal to e to the power minus j 2 pi by n, and if it is, if we have n by 2 whole power, then we can further solve it as j 2 pi by n times n by 2. So this term get cancelled and this 2 is get cancelled. All we are left with e to the power minus j pi. Okay, so e to the power minus j pi is cos minus pi plus j minus pi, right? So on every integer multiple of pi, sine is always 0 and cos is 1 on minus pi, because cos minus theta is equal to cos theta, because cos is even function, so on minus pi and pi it yields minus 1 result. Okay, so first thing that wn to the power half is always equal to minus 1, and the second thing is that wn to the power n is always equal to minus 1. We use same technique, so this get cancelled, e to the power j 2 pi is always 1, because cos 2 pi or cos minus 2 pi yields 1 result. Okay, so now what is the idea in FFT? Suppose we had a signal x of n and that is equal to, has some values x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, right? So the idea in FFT is we take separate transform of even and odd parts, right? We take only even indices and let us call it g of n, for example, and now g of n is equal to x of 0, x of 2, and we take even separate, so let's call it h of n. So h of n is equal to x of 1 and x of 3, and what we do is we solve them separately using DFT, same DFT formula, and we get the result. So this was just for 4-point DFT, but if we have let's do it a bit. For example, if we have 8-point DFT, then we have a signal, for example, x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, x of 5, x of 6, and x of 7. Now what we shall do is we take the even indices and create a separate signal. Let us call it g of n. You don't need to call it anything, but in order for understanding purpose, let's take the even indexes and odd indexes and separate them. And for example, we have h of n that is equal to x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, and x of 6. Right now, you can see this is again 4-point DFT. Now what we will do is we will again divide this. So our, for example, we call it now we will take the, now this is g of 0, this is g of 1, this is g of 2, and this is g of 3. So we again take even indexes of g. So we get g of 0, that is actually x of 0, and g of 2, that is actually x of 4, right? So let's call it I of n maybe, right? And again we take the odd indexes from g of n, and let's call it j of n. You can call it any name. So we get g of 1 and g of 3. Now because it's also called radix 2 algorithm, so now we solve for DFT for this signal and DFT for this signal, and we just reverse back, right? So it's like a recursive process, and finally we get the transform of overall x of n signal. Same is done for h of n as well. So now let us see what is the standard formula for FFT. Standard formula to compute FFT. So our x of k is equal to summation n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n. Let us try it actually for your understanding. So for a standard formula for DFT is n from 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn to the power nk, right? This is the formula for DFT. Now what we are interested in, we want to separate the even and odd terms. So one way to do is, what I should do is n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n wn. Now instead of n we have to write 2n for every occurrence of n, plus n from 0 to n by 2 for up to n by 2 minus 1. We have x of 2n plus 1 wn 2n plus 1 times k, right? So now let us see if this equation always gets even indexes of x of n. So for example, if n is 0, we get from here we get x of 0, and when n is 1 we get x of 2, and when n is 2 we get x of 4. So always we get the even indexes of x input signal x of n, right? And what about here? What about here? When n is 0 we get x of 1. When n is 1 we get 2 1, the 2 2 plus 1 is 3. So you can see we always get odd indexes of x of n from this equation. So we have successfully separated even and odd indexes of input signal. So what if I solve it a bit further? Now look at this. So I want to solve only uh, uh, wn to the power 2nk. Wn to the power 2nk. We know wn is equal to e to the power minus j 2 pi by n, right? uh, okay, and now we have 2nk, so this must be equal to e to the power j 2 pi nk whole divided by n by 2, right? Because this 2 okay, so whatever the value of n, for example, let's take an example. For example, we have w4 e to the power 2nk. So can we write it as j2 pi by 4 times 2nk, right? And that is equal to j2 pi nk divided by, now this 2 times 1 is 2 and 2 times 2 is 4. So you can see initially n was 4, now it's 2. So we can write wn to the power 2nk is wn nk, and n is now halved, right? So I can rewrite this equation as n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n wn by 2 power nk. Now again we got a separate DFT and it's of length half of the actual, plus n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n plus 1 wn power 2nk times, because now this k is multiplied with 1 and 2nk, so we get wn
सर
power k. Yes,
ये n बाय 2 कैसे हुआ सर फर्स्ट पार्ट में?
ये मैंने
W
यहाँ ये मैंने यहाँ पर तो समझा है ना। देखें, अगर हम, मैंने कहा कि अगर हमारे पास फॉर एग्जांपल कैपिटल N is 4 and we have 2nk, right? So what we are doing is we are substituting the value of this w4, that is equal to e to the power j2 pi by 4, right? And power 2nk, so power and power gets multiplied. So you can see this 2 has reduced this total time period into half. So we can write that if it is wn to the power 2nk, then we can write it as wn by 2 power nk, right?
सही से मतलब कोई भी मतलब n का वैल्यू होगा वो ऑफ हो जाएगा।
वो हाफ हो जाएगा, राइट? ओके,
ठीक है
सो
सर, ठीक है।
okay, so let us rewrite this. Now this 2 also reduces our total uh, n into half. Now you can see in each term this wn power k is always multiplied, because running variable is small n, and this capital N power k is each time multiplied with this complete term. So can we rewrite
सर
this as,
excuse me,
yes?
सर आपने ये 4 क्यों लिया सर वहां पे जो n बाय 2 जब ड्राइव किया तो
Just to let
W4?
you understand, you can take 8 as well, right? And then you end up in 4 here, right? You will get 4 here. If you get 8 here, then you must be getting 4 here, right? If you get 16 here, you will be getting 8 here. If you get 64 here, you will get 32 here. So it will be always reduced to half, right?
ओके सर।
Okay, so this w n power k and n from 0 to n by 2 x of 2n plus 1 wn by half and nk, right? So we have divided the bigger DFT into smaller two DFTs. So if I call it for example g of k, then g of k and this is h of k, then we have h of k wn power k. So now the bigger DFT is sum of two smaller DFTs, right? And we will be keep on dividing them until we get the length of signal of length 2, right? So this is the basic idea to compute the FFT. So and another very important property of this DFT is we are just building a block, and we will see once you understand this, and once we understand each and every nitty-gritty of or basics of this wn to the power k, and even to separating even and odd part, you will be solving same DFT which took around 35 minutes in last lecture. We will be solving in within 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so stay with me. So another property is that x of k plus n by 2 is again x of k, right? So let us just solve it. Now what if I put x of k plus n by 2 here? So in this equation, then we get n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n wn into half, and we have here n, and instead of k now we have to put k plus n by 2 plus wn to the power, now k is k plus n by 2 and summation n from n by 2 to n minus 1 x of 2n plus 1 half and n into k plus n by 2. Now let us see what this term gives us. Okay, so let us see just for this term, because we want to reduce this n by 2 power nk plus n into n by 2, right? So can we write it as wn by 2 power nk times wn by 2 power n into n upon 2, right? So let us see what this term gives us. So can we write it as e to the power j 2 pi by n by 2 times n by 2 times n, right? So this n get cancelled, and we have 8 j to the power n, and that is always equal to 1 because our n is either 0 1 2 up to n minus 1, right? So for each value if you put 0 here, e to the power 0 is 1. If you put 1 here, e to the power j2 pi is 1. If you put 2 here, we get e to the power j4 pi, that's again equal to 1. So this term gives us wn by 2 power nk, right? So we can rewrite this equation. So means from here, from this complete term, what we get wn by 2 power nk, and same is the case here. What we get is wn by 2 power nk. Okay, so our final result x of k shall be equal to summation n from 0 to n minus 1 x of 2n half k plus, now let us solve this as well. Now what should be the output of this? Let us solve it here. Wn by 2, no, so it's Wn power k plus n by 2, that is equal to Wn power k times Wn power n by 2, and now we know that this is equal to -1. We have already solved it, so this must be equal to Wn power k, but now with minus sign, right? So initially you can see this was plus Wn power k. Now we can rewrite it as now I don't want to write this. Now this term is equal to minus W k power, sorry, Wn power k, and summation n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n plus 1 Wn by 2 power nk. Okay, so what does this mean is, for example, we are computing 8-point DFT, then our x of 0 must be equal to, for example, we called it earlier g of k, so that must be equal to g of 0 plus h of 0, right? Because w, now we have total 8 points. For example, if we wish to compute 8-point DFT, and x of 1 must be equal to g of 1 plus w8 power 1 h of 1. Our x of 2 must be equal to g of 2 plus w8 power 2
सर अब
h
प्लस
of
कहाँ से आ गई, माइनस
जी
थी ना।
ना फिलहाल सॉरी सुनो, फिलहाल असां वटि टोटल टाइम पीरियड घणो आहे, असांजो n घणो आहे 8, right? Our n is 8, and x of 3 is equal to g of 3 plus w8 power 3 h of 3. Now see, our x of 4 is 0 plus 4. We can say this is, if this is our k, this is our n by 2, right? Because our k is 0 and n by 2 is 4. So x of 4 must be equal to g of 4 minus w8 power 0. Sorry, g of 4, no, g of 0 into h of 0. Right? Same way, our 5 must be 1 plus 4, right? So k is our 1 now. Then this must be equal to g of 1 minus 8 power 1 h of 1, and our this must be equal to x of 6 must be equal to g of 2 minus w8 power 1 what we must say h of 2, and 3 plus 4 x of 7 must be equal to g of 3 minus w8 power 3 h of 3, right? So you can see these are the complete terms. Now let us just one more thing. For example, we have this complete let us compute the butterfly diagram, half cooked butterfly diagram. So we have x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, x of 5, x of 6, and x of 7. These are our frequency signals, right? Now x of what is now we have 4-point DFTs here, right? For example, let's call it g of k. So we have g of 0, g of 1, g of 2, g of 3, right? And we have in other DFT h of k. Just stay with me. We'll see what I'm doing. X of 6 and x of 7. Now we assume that this gets signal small g of 0 in time domain, g of 1, g of 2 and g of 3. Now I'm calling it g of 0. Remember, we have g of 0 is x of 0, g of 1 is x of 2, g of 2 was x of 4 maybe. No, this was x of 4. Okay, we'll see once we get, but we are calling it as h of 0 time domain signal, h of 1, h of 2 and h of 3, right? Now our x of 0 is equals to what? X of 0 is equal to g of 0 plus w 8 power 0 h of 0. So how can we construct from here? So our x of 0 is g of 0 plus w, initially w8 to the power 0 is multiplied with g of 0 and then it is connected to here, right? So our x of 0 is equal to now g of 0 plus w8 to the power 0 h of 0, and likewise our g of 1 was g of 1 sorry, x of 1 is g of 1 plus w8 to the power 1 h of 1. So this is, let me just name them so that we can understand on which one. This is our h of 0, this is our h of 0, h of 1, h of 2 and h of 3, right? So from here we have also, okay, so our x of 1 is equal to g of 1 plus w8, I should have w8 power 1 and then it is coming here and we have w8 power 2 here and this must be connected to this thing and this must be connected to this thing, right? So our x of 0 is g of 0 plus w8 is multiplied with h of 0 and it is coming to g of 0, so w8 power 0 h of 0. Then we have x of 1, x of 1 is equal to g of 1 plus w8 power 1 h of 1. Then we have x of 2 that is equal to g of 2 plus w8 power 2 w8 power 2 h of 2, right? And so on. Now x of 4, what was x of 4? X of 4 was g of 0 minus w8 power 0 h of 0, right? So each term is multiplied with minus 1 here, minus 1, minus 1 and minus 1. Now initially you can see from here h of 0 times w8 power 0, it went here, it was plus earlier. Now here it is minus. So if I take this here, right? So our x of 0 minus, oh my god, I made a blunder. Because due to paid I am unable to sketch it properly. Now you can see our h of g of 0, our x of 4 is equal to g of 0 minus w8 power 0 h of 0, right? Likewise our x of 5 is g of 1 minus w8 to the power 1 h of 1 and let me just take another marker so that I don't get confused here. We are already confused. Now this shall come here and another marker, and this shall be multiplied here. Not multiplied actually. This should come here, and this should come here. Okay, now I am not happy with this figure. Let me see if I can do it better. So let us see if this comes here, this comes here, this comes here, and this comes here. Okay, now it looks a bit good, right? So we have g of x of 0 is equal to g of 0 plus w at power 0. X of 1 is g of 0 time plus w at to the power 1 h of 1. X of 2 is our x of 2 is, let me write, g of 2 plus w8 power 2 h of 2, right? Our x of 3 is g of 3 plus w8 power 3 h of 3, and x of 4 is g of 4. You can see h of 4 is not g of 4 actually, g of 0, because k plus n by 2 property, minus, and this minus comes from this radius, and you can see minus w8 power 1 h of 1, right, and so on. So again you can now let us see our initially x of n was x small x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, x of 5, x of 6, and x of 7, right? Now we divided it into g of n, and g of n was equal to x of 0, x of 1, sorry, x of 2, x of 4, and x of 6 even, and h of n was equals to what was h of n, x of 1, x of 3, x of 5, and x of 7, right? So we have divided even and odd part separately. Now we want to further divide it, because as you remember what we said, that we should keep on dividing it until we get of length, summation of length from 0 to 1, right? It means 2. So let me see. Now our final g of k was equal to summation n from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n wn by 2nk plus wn power kn from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2n plus 1 w into half and nk, right? Now what I am interested in, I again want to divide this into its even and odd part. So how can I do that? Can I write it as n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1. Now n, put n is equal to 2n, then we get 4n here, wn by 2, and again 2n here, right? 2nk plus this is now this is our even, and this signal is our even, right? Even we had this signal is even, right? N is equal to 0, we get 0, n is equal to 1, we get 2, n is equal to 2, we get 4, and so on, right? Now we have again we again took its even part, and what must be its odd part? Let us see. N from 0 to n by 4 minus 1. Now instead of now n, we have to put 2n plus 1. So 2n plus 1 wn by 2, and instead of n we have to put 2n plus k. Now just I am just talking about this signal, right? Now let me just change the color so that we can know we are talking about this signal. Okay, so if we solve it, what we get from here? N from 0 to n by 4 minus 1 x of 4n, and can I write it as w uh, n by 4 power nk, right? And from here can I write it as summation n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1. Now what we get from it? X of 4n plus 2, right? And can I write it as wn by 4 power nk and wn by 2 power k here, right? If you simplify it, now I am not simplifying it, you will get this result. This is just for even part, this part, right? This part is still left behind. Now you can see, let us see, let us see, let us see. This is very important. Our g of n was x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, and x of 6. Now this index is g of 1. This index is g of 0, g of 1, g of 2, g of 3, right? So now let us see, let's run through this summation. Initially the value of x of n is 0, so we get x of 0 from here, and then if when n is 1, what we get? X of 4. So from this signal we get x of 0 and x of 4, right? Even terms, you can see even terms of g, and we can call them anything, for example I of n. And from here you can see, if I put n equal to 0, what I get? X of 2. X of 2 is here, and when n equal to 1, we get 1 times 4 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, so we get x of 6. You can see how these things are changing. This is just for even part, right? For odd part, this is even, right? And for odd, we had initially we had signal. What marker should I use? This one. We had wn power k, and now within that we have summation n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1, and instead of, first it's even part, instead of 2n we have to put 2n, n we have to put 2n. So we have initially we have x of 2 times 2n plus 1 wn by half power nk 2nk plus, now it's odd part, n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1, and instead of 2n now we have to put 2n plus 1. So 2 times 2n plus 1 plus 1, so it's getting very juicy now. Instead of n we have to put 2n plus 1 times k, right? So oh my God. Okay, so let's solve it further. So we get plus. Now from here we have even, right? And this is we are solving for odd. Wn power k, and you can see what we get from here. We get summation n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1 and x of 4n plus 1, right? 2 times 2 is 4 and we have 1 here. And you can see we have 2 here, so we can write it n by 4 times nk plus, let us not write summation, first solve this. X of 2 times 2 is 2 to the 4, 4n, and 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, 4n plus 3, and we can write as w whole to the power nk, and here we write wn by 2 power k, right? If you solve it, now we know how to solve this algebra, right? So the final expression is for this is even, sorry, even part of odd initially, which was odd signal, right? And this is odd, right? So the final expression can be, where were we? Now this is signal for even part. So we got summation n from 0 to n by 4 minus 1 x of 4n w n by 4, right? N by 4 nk plus summation n from 0 to n by 4, and we have a wn by 2 power k here. X of 4n plus 2, it was 4n plus 2, 4n plus 2 w n by 4 power nk, and plus we have wn power k outside of this summation, so we have to write that as well, wn power k, and now first odd even part, that was summation n from n by 4 minus 1 x of, what was, x of 4n plus 1, x of 4n plus 1 plus wn by 2 power k summation n by 4 minus 1 x of 4n plus 3 wn by 4 power nk, right? And you keep on doing that, right, until you reach to this summation from 0 to 1, right? You keep on dividing a DFT into its even and odd part, then even odd, then odd even, odd, right? And again even odd, and so on, right? You keep on dividing it. So this is how DFT divide. This is how DFT divides. Keep on dividing the DFTs, and once you reach to the 2 landmark, and you then just sum up all those, and you get the final result. So you can see from here. Let us solve for DFT 4, right? So initially, if we have n equal to 4, So let us see how to compute FFT algorithm for this. Then we have x of k is equal to summation n from 0 to because n is 4, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let me just write and then we can write x of 2n wn by half into nk plus wn power k n from 0 n by half into x of 2n plus 1 and nk. Right now our n is 4, so let me just write instead of n, let's put its value. Now n is 4 in this particular case, so 4 by 2 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have x of 2n and w n by 2. So this must be 2 because 4 by 2 is 2 nk plus w4 power k, right? Because our n is 4 now. n from 0 to 1 x of 2n plus 1 w2 power nk, right? And we can right now there is, let us call this DFT as maybe g of k w4 power k and h of k. Sorry, so our x of k is this one. So what is x of 0? Our x of 0 must be g of 0 plus w4 power 0 h of 0. Our x of 1 must be g of 1 plus w4 power 1 h of 1, right? And our x of 2, that is 0 plus n by 2, n is our 4, n by 2 is 2, right? So this must be equal to g of 0 minus w4 power 0 h of 0, and our x of 3 must be equal to k plus n by 2. Then this must be g1 minus w4 power 1 h of 1. Now you can see all we need is we just need to solve this summation and this summation. Now let us solve this summation first. Our g of k is equal to, now I'm going to directly open this. Now n is from 0 to 1. Initially n is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. W2 power 0 plus n is 0. So okay, now n is 0. Now it must be from 0 to 1. So let's put 1 here. So then we get x of 1 w2 power k, right? Because n is 1 and k is still not solved. Okay, so this is our g of k, and our h of k is, let's put n is equal to 0 here. So what we get is x of 1, right? W2 power 0 plus, now let's put n equal to 1, then we get x of 3 and w2 power k, right? So we have, now let's put values here. So our, when we put k equal to 0 in the g of k, then what we get, x of 0. Now I don't want to write w2 power 0 because anything power 0 is 1. plus x of 1, and now we have k also equals to, you can see k is also equal to 0, so I don't need to write anything now. W4 power 0 and h of 0. Now when k is equal to 0 in this equation, what we get is x of 1 plus x of 3, right? And from here you can see g of 1. When I put 1 instead of k here, then what I get, x of 0 plus x of 1 w2 power 1, right? Instead of k, instead of this k, I am writing 1 here, okay? And then we have plus w4 power 1 because this is in formula, and now h of 1. Our h of 1 is x of 1 plus x of 3 w2 power 1, right? And now for x of 2 we have g of 0, and g of 0 we have already calculated, that is equal to x of 0 plus x of 1, and we have w, now not my plus but minus w4 power 0 and then h of 0. H of 0 is x of 1 plus x of 3, and last but not least g of 1 is x of 0 plus x of 1 w2 power 1, now minus w4 power minus 1. I am just tracing this line because this is our g of 1, and now instead of plus I have put minus here, and now h of 1, x of 1 plus x of 3 w2 power 1, right? So this is what we have computed now. So now if you remember, we had a signal x of n that was equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3, and when we computed DFT of this signal, what we got was 6 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2 minus 2 minus 2j, right? Now let us compute this through signal through this x of, and now through this FFT algorithm. Okay. So when for x of 0 we have equal to x of 0 plus x of 1 plus w4 power 0 x of 1 plus x of 3, right? And that has to be, now x of 0 is 0, x of 1 is 1. Is it x of 1 or x of 2? I think it's x of 2. This must be x of 2. Why? Because we have 2n here. You can see if n is 0, we must get x of 0, and n is 1, we must get x of 2 here, right? So here, so this must be equal to 2 because this is x of 2 plus anything power 0 is 1, x of 1 is 1, and x of 3 is 3. So this must be equal to 2 plus 4, that is equal to 6. You see we got x of 6 very easily. Now our x of 1 must be equal to x of 1 must be equal to now this is always 2, remember this is always 2. So for g of 1, so I'm sorry, for this x of 1 we have x of 0 plus x of 2 w to the power 1. Now I am in a very difficult situation. So for x of 1, we have x of 0 plus x of 2 w2 to the power 1, right, plus now w4 power 1, right, w4 power 1, because now our k is 1, right, our k is 1. So x of 1 plus x of 3 w2 power, now our k is, for 1 our k is w2 power 1, right. Now you know w4 e to the power 1 must be equals to, let us solve it. W4 means e to the power minus j 2 pi by 4, right, and this must be equal to 8 pi by 2, so pi by 2, this must be equal to minus j. So our x of 0 is 0, x of 2 is 2, and w to the power minus 1, so n power n by 2 is minus 1. We solved initially, and this must be equal to minus j, w4 power 1, x of 1 is 1, and x of 3 is 3, w to the power 1 is minus 1, so this must be equal to minus 2, and this is minus j. From here we get minus 2, minus into minus plus, so we get 2j. So x of 1 is again 2j. So our x of 2 must be equal to x of 0 plus what was the value for this one? X of 2 was, we just have minus here uh, instead of plus, here we have minus in x of 1. All values are same, so x of 0, x of 2 minus w4 power 0, x of 1 plus x of 3 w2 power 0, right. So we have 0 plus 2 minus 1, and we have 1 plus 3, so this must be equal to minus 2. Likewise, instead of minus j here we must be having, instead of plus here we have minus, and minus into minus we get plus, so x of 3 must be equal to x of 0 plus x of 2 into minus 1 plus j, because now this plus has to be minus, and 1 minus 3, right. So from here we get minus 2, and from here we get minus 2 times j is minus 2j. Now you can see we have easily calculated the same result that we calculated through a lot of pain in DFT. Once we have decomposed the signal, now it has become very easy to compute the DFT for the accuracy signal. You could also, what you could also do is you could have computed the result initially for these terms, and then you could have easily solved it, right. If you have computed g of k, the results for g of k and h of k, and all you need to do is then put the value of g of 0 and h of 0 here, g of 1 and h of 1 here, and so on. Okay, so this is how you can compute the DFT for a given signal. Now if you wish to compute a butterfly diagram, then x of 5, x of 6, and x of 7, right. Now always remember, now I cannot solve it completely, You need initially 4 DFTs, right? Oh my God. Initially you get 2 for 8-point DFT. You have to solve first 4-point DFTs, and for 4-point DFT you have to solve 2-point DFT, right? 2-point DFTs. This is 2-point DFT. Right, and you get output from here. X of 5, X of 6. I think X of 4 must also be here. X of 7. From 0 to 3 you get from here, and okay. So from here you have to input X of 0, X of 4, X of 2, X of 6, and X of 1, X of 5, X of 3, and X of 7. Maybe you can do this practice. We have done until till 4 points, then you can also solve it further, or I will provide you in the notes. So this is how you compute the FFT. So our X of a k in FFT is from half length of the signal to nk plus nk n from 0 to half minus 1 nk, right? This is the source, this is the prime source of the evil, right? So this is how you compute, and you keep on dividing it into its even and odd parts, until you reach to the radix 2, right? Okay, so this is how you compute 4-point DFT, and you saw we could compute it very easily, right? So now let us come to simulation and see how we have done. First of all, denoising a signal. What I have done here is, first of all, clear screen, close, clear all variables, close all screens, clear the command window as well. Now this is a delta. What does this delta do? This generate values from 0 to 1 with difference of delta, and from here what I have done is I have generated I have generated a clean signal with sum of 2 signs, and each has fundamental frequency. First is 50 and second is 120, right? So okay, and now what I want to do is I want to generate a noisy signal as well. What I have done is I have summed this clean signal with a random noise generated through this random noise function. Okay, so what I want to do is here I want to plot it. So I have plotted this signal, both signal clean and noisy, right? So if you see, you can see from here, you can see I have plotted both signal. This pink shows noisy signal, and this black line shows the clean signal. You can see a significant amount of noise is added in the clean signal, right? Okay, now what I want to do is I want to compute the power spectral density of the clean signal first. You can see what I have done is I have took the order n of length, the length of the original signal. Now you can see its length must be about 1000. So in this class we have calculated FFT for only length 4. Imagine if we calculate for 1000, so that would be approximately impossible task if you solve it on the paper, right? It will take you your whole life, but in using computer you can calculate it easily. So what I have done is I have calculated its frequency spectrum using FFT, right? And I have calculated power spectral density of the function, and power spectral density of the function is the computed frequency response time conjugate of that function divided by the total time period, right? This is how you calculate the power spectral density. If you wish to calculate energy density, then what you could have done, you just did not have divided it with n, right? And then you get the energy spectrum function, energy of the spectrum, right? Okay, so now what I have generated in this line, I have done nothing but to generate the time axis for our frequency graph, right? And from here what I have done is I have plotted this clean signal. I have given it a legend as clean signal, and X label frequency, Y label power spectral density. Now let us see where does it go. It, you can see now, you see I have only plotted its positive side. As you know, this thing that our a cos theta is equal to a by 2 delta omega minus theta delta omega plus theta, right? And our a sin theta is equal to a by 2j theta minus delta minus theta, right? So we get two impulses. If I plot it in frequency spectrum, I get a by 2 here and a by 2 here. Now because I have calculated its power spectral density, so that's why I get a by 2 here, and because I have neglected the negative region, so I have one spike at 50 and one must be at 120, right? So you can see from here as well. So we have one spike at 50 and one is at around at 1. If I click here, does it show? But this is our 150. So we have two fundamental frequencies, and we have successfully calculated its power spectral density of clean signal. Now power spectral density of noisy function, right? So you can see again the length, and just I have replaced x with x clean. You can see here we had clean, x clean, right? But now now I want to compute the frequency spectrum of the noisy signal. And what I have done is here again I have calculated the power spectral density of this function transform signal, and to plot this I have done this all mess. Okay, so let us run this, and when you run this you get, oh, I have run the complete system. Well, now you can see the difference between this graph and this graph. You can see a lot of noise is added now in the original spectrum, right? A lot of noise is added, and I have plotted both signal in order to show you here. Now in order to watch closely, I want to zoom it. Now you can see from here, if I plot only this part, you can see the like here, you can see a lot of noise is added here. You cannot find this noise here. It's clean signal. You can see clean signal has no any discrepancies, but a noisy signal has one. Okay, now what we wish to do is we wish to remove these irregularities, right? So you can see from this graph that I want to generate this graph again. We don't have that much time. Okay, so this this program is also shared on GitHub. I will share this link in the description. You can check these codes out, right? So you can see from here the information is available. The power of information is greater than 100 and the noise has power less than 100. So what we can do is we just select those indexes which are greater than 100, which is value greater than 100, and filter all others. Then we can get the filtered filtered signal. So what I have done is I have selected all those values who has PSD greater than 100, and I have removed all other indexes and filtered smaller coefficients, all smaller coefficients from the frequency domain, and I have took inverse fast Fourier transform so that I get the time domain signal back. And then what I have done is I have plotted this. Its power spectral density first, where we have calculated the power spectral density of clean signal here, and we have plotted it, right? So the third graph shows the power spectral density of noisy signal and filtered signal that we have filtered now. Now you can see have done to generate that again. What I want to do is I want to zoom this, and this can be done by pressing this plus sign, and you can now you can see this. These triangles are actually noisy signals and this flat signal is filtered signal. So what I have done is, because I have computed its time domain signal as well, I the filtered the IFT of filtered signal. So this must be time domain signal. Then I have plotted it in time domain as well. You can see T into X filter, and finally I have plotted the filtered signal, and it looks very similar to our initial signal, right? So this is one of the possible application of FFT. In other application can be in image processing, right? Processing, what we have done is we have read one image from my downloads folder, and I have converted it into RGB to gray. Means initially the signal was, or the our picture is colored picture, and I have converted it into gray. Initially I have plotted its colored version, so you can see from here this is our colored picture, right? Okay, so what we have done is we have calculated its fast Fourier transform in both in rows and in columns. FFT2 is for images, right? It what it does is it takes an image FFT2. What does it do? When you take FFT2 of an image, for example, if this is the image, first of all it takes FFT of the rows, right? Then FFT of the columns, right? And if you see its graph, it's more like a plus sign, right? All the low frequency components must be here, and all the high frequency components must reside here, right? So the why we want to compress this image, because if you have an original image of huge size, and if you remove its low frequency components, about 95 to 97% components low frequency, if you remove them, you will see the for a naked eye original image looks same, more or less kind of a same image, right? So this is why we want to compress the signal. So what I have done is I have, now what does this command do? FFT shift of this transformed signal, right, and calculate its absolute value and calculate its log. What does this do is it bifurcates the, or you can say it sorts the frequencies, low frequencies and high frequencies. Now what we wish to do is we wish to reduce we want to trim the low frequencies or low frequency components and just retain the high frequency component, right? So I have plotted this on a separate figure, that what is the spectrum, how does the spectrum looks like. Okay, the next phase, what I wish to do is I want to trim 99% of the, I want to retain 99% of the pictures components, then 50% or 5%, then 1%, and then 0. Maybe 5%, right? And this is how we do that. I shall explain it someday. Okay, because we are short of time. Now let us run it. Now you can see the second figure. This is very important. You can see from here that this is more like a plus sign, right? So what does this vertical line show? This shows the small frequency components, and the darker shows the frequency components with higher frequencies, right? Okay, so this is our original image, and I want to see this is our 99%, the original image. This is just 5% of the original image, right? We have compressed it around 95%, but you can see there is no huge difference between these two. For a naked eye, it looks like the same. This is just 1% of the image, so means 99% image is compressed, and this is just a small portion of the original signal. We have reduced around approximately around 99.8% of the low frequency component, just retain only 2% of the higher frequency components, and that's what Parseval theorem says, that if you retain the higher frequencies and reduce the lower frequency components, it does not make any change, right? So this is one of the possible application of FFT as well. So normally we just compute the FFT and we don't see its actual applications. So I just have shown you just two applications of FFT, and we can also compute derivative as well using FFT algorithm, and you will be thrilled to see the results, that normal approximation of derivatives are a bit deviant from the original derivative. Now this red sign, the red graph, sorry, the black graph shows the actual derivative that is calculated with pen and paper, and this cyan dotted line shows the derivative calculated through FFT, and this blue line shows the derivative calculated through finite difference approximations. Now you can see the FFT the derivative calculated through FFT is far more accurate than the finite differences. So these are some of the applications of FFT, and there are thousands of applications of FFT. Just we have seen only 3 which are related to signal processing. Okay, so we are going to stop our lecture here, and if you have any question you can ask.